Dennis feeling?
Look, he had limited contact today, ran up and down a little bit, but again, still just trying to slow walk that. Same with Bobby.
Not that it's like a perfect analog what happened with Durant last year, because he obviously had it seems like a more serious calf injury, but do you feel like players and teams are more careful now with that specific injury?
I don't know. I know our policy is always just err on the side of caution, unless obviously it's like a desperate situation or something. But overall, we're always going to try to err on the side of caution.
Did you see Durant's comments yesterday on the radio about New York not being a cool place, the Knicks not being a cool team for free agents right now?
Yeah.
What thoughts on that?
I don't know. All I know is every day somebody outside of our organization is talking about us, and I'm flattered.
Last year, you and I think Scott and Steve spent a good portion of the season saying that your reputation had been changing. You felt like you guys were reputation on the upswing. There's something like that where he says the Knicks are not a cool franchise basically for star players. Does that dispute that?
That's an opinion. I like the guys that wanted to be here. We got 7 guys that really wanted to be a part of the Knicks, and that's what I'm focused on.
Coach, one of those guys was Alfred. What did you think about the way he played yesterday? What is he?
He's everything I thought he was. He is a bulldog. He really pushed the pace. He got guys shots. He kept us organized. I thought both point guards did a great job in the game.
You got to see the players got to see the Walter Reed yesterday. What do you think they get from that bonding, that chemistry?
Man, you can't put a price on that. It's just I know all of them were talking about it afterwards, and the soldiers that they met, the men and women that serve our country, and also the nurses and the doctors that take care of them. We got to interact with a lot of them, and hopefully they really got to put a face on what service looks like, what sacrifice looks like, selflessness. And I know the folks there got a great kick out of it as well.
Last year, just defensively, communication was problematic at some times. Have you seen an improvement this year that some of the younger guys know each other a little bit more? Have you seen that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the guys that was here, the young guys that was here last year, have taken a big step forward from that standpoint. They not only are they communicating better, they're recognizing situations better. It's not, as they see plays start to formulate, they're like, okay, I've seen this before, instead of it being something that's new to them. I also think that the veteran group that we have here now are really helping them along, from the standpoint of how to communicate, what to communicate, and what they're seeing out there.
It was only one game, but you're seeing the buy-in for the defense and the attention that they're now, to that.
Yeah, I mean, Washington put a lot of pressure on us. Their pace was, they were fast. Those point guards were running it up the court at us. They got up 47 threes. I felt like our closeouts were really on point for the most part, and that we challenged most of those shots, while at the same time, really doing a solid job of protecting the paint. Hopefully we can build off of that, and playing a team like Washington in the preseason that runs that fast and gets up that many threes is really great to test us out.
You guys had Philly, Milwaukee. It seems like a few teams got bigger. Do you see that as kind of like a correction for the league getting smaller and pacier to try to, go the other way?
Yes, you got to figure out what works for you and what can combat, some of these things. But I think what's happening, why teams can go bigger, is that bigs can shoot now. Most teams went small to spread the floor out with shooting, but now we got 4s and 5s shooting the ball as well as 1s, 2s, and 3s, and so I think teams are recognizing that and starting to utilize size and spacing at the same time.
The offseason seems to be getting smaller or shorter every summer. I guess how important is it, especially when you have new players coming in, so many, to hammer down what it is that you want in the preseason before you?
Yeah, I think you gotta know what you want to do when you're really going after, trying to build something solid and not trying to overdo it. Try to get great at a few things and not be mediocre at a whole bunch of stuff. And so that's really what our focus has been, is really hammering home our defense, trying to get the ball up the floor with a decent pace, and then our ball movement. And last game I felt like we had good stretches of all of that.
You had 10 guys play Monday night. Part of that was because of injury. Obviously, I think you were missing 5 guys who might be regulars. How are you trying to use the preseason games to fiddle with your rotations, basically?
Yeah, I want to look at different combinations of guys, who plays well together, who has a connection out there. As we move through it, I want to give other guys more opportunity to get their feet wet. We'll get Zoe and Iggy a little more minutes as we move forward through this, and eventually even try to get our G League guys a taste. But ultimately, the big thing is building chemistry and building system.
How deep do you think you can go during the regular season, like rotation-wise?
Just on a basic rotation, I think it's, realistically, you're looking at 10 guys. But the game sometimes calls for you to go 11, 12 deep based on foul trouble, injuries, things like that. And that can change from night to night who that's going to be. I want it to stay competitive. I don't want anybody to get comfortable in their position. And so, it keeps us in a competitive nature.
What does that competition mean for you with the bigs when you can roll them like you've been able to roll them on that first game?
No, it's been great. And these guys, you talking about hitting. They every day they come in here and they beat each other up pretty good. And, all it can do is make you better. And you can see I have different combinations of guys I can put out there together. That can create some matchup problems. To see Taj Gibson knock down 2 threes, that's big time. And all of them have that capability. Mitchell took his first jump shot. That was just little steps like that for him where he gets comfortable just shooting it. Eventually he'll let go a few threes and knock down some, but I just feel like we have versatility at that position now.
Did you see anything from Julius in his first preseason game that you maybe weren't expecting after just watching him practice with the guys?
Defensively, he was flying around. I mean, he was everywhere for us defensively, and for a guy that doesn't necessarily have that reputation, for him to really be taking pride in that end of the floor and really locking in, I was really excited to see that. And then offensively, he did everything I talked about before. He must have brought the ball up for us 10, 12 times in the game and initiated the offense. He played off the block, he played off the elbow. He was making other guys better with his assists. And so, I'm really happy he's here. He really gives us a lot of flexibility.
And I guess, would you agree with the assertion that Frank was a little more aggressive this time?
Absolutely. I think everybody saw that. He has taken a step forward from a confidence standpoint, and from the standpoint that no matter what's happening out there, just stay aggressive. And I said it the other night. He missed 2 jumpers in a row. Wayne comes off a double, kicks it to him again, which that's great that the trust was there, and he didn't hesitate and he knocked down the 3. And so we're just gonna keep building on that with him and keep encouraging him to stay in that aggressive mode.